Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Annie D, and you're in for another beautiful moment. If you're coming here for the very first time, just go ahead and like, comment, share, and also subscribe. We are happy people here. We are fun to be with. We are exciting. And if you are also a returning viewer, we sincerely want to say a very big thank you for being part of our journey, for being part of our experience, and for supporting us. Please, I really want to say God bless you for making this family one big one, for helping us increase the community. God bless you real good. So today's topic, is something that, just draw your seats closer because it's quite an interesting topic. Usually in this part of the world, Africa precisely, it's quite difficult for elders to kind of apologize to young people. And I keep wondering why. First of all, you're a human being. You have to recognize that. There is nothing in you being wrong. You are not infallible. The only person that is infallible is God. So you are a human being. You have to recognize that you have flesh and blood. So sometimes you could be wrong, sometimes you could be right. The most important thing is recognizing that you have gone wrong and you are willing to make amends and you're willing to apologize. Yeah, so there is absolutely nothing, parents, there is nothing wrong in you apologizing to your children. I know this generation, the generation of kids we have right now, they are trained to be very vocal, they are trained to be very expressive. Not necessarily, I tell people that I don't have anything in a child being expressive. They should be expressive because sometimes they could be in a very difficult situation where they have to speak up, but they don't because, so whether you are there or not, they can tell you what experience they would have had, especially if it's a very terrible experience, because that could be very, very traumatic. And some kids, if you don't train them to be very vocal, they are going to grow up with that attitude, that character, and they would always find ways of, finding closure. And finding closure could be even in the wrong way. So parents out there, please encourage your kids to be very vocal, to be very expressive. The most important thing is be respectful while you put out your point. Be respectful, be very polite. So in this part of the world, children would always call adults, you did this, you did that, auntie, you went wrong here, I have my little niece. She will say, Auntie Miriam, what you did was wrong. Can you apologize? Can you say the magic word? And I'm like, it makes me feel good that a child is actually calling my attention to what was wrong. Because in the first place, you were actually the one who told the child, who called the child's attention to what was wrong. And now you as an adult, you are doing that same thing. You're caught in the act. So this child is also telling you, please, can you just amend your ways? Can you just apologize? And you're not a superhuman. Parents, you are not superhuman. Just go ahead and apologize to your children. There is nothing absolutely wrong in doing that. In every situation, in every story, in every incident, you have your perspective. I also have my perspective, and anybody could be right and anybody could be wrong, but I believe everybody's perspective is very important to them. So they want to hold it so tight, they want to hold it so firmly. But at the end of the day, I feel like we can come together, get to a compromise, and see how to resolve issues so we can work together. We can work together in harmony and settle our conflicts. There have been many relationships have been ruined, many marriages have been ruined, many business transactions have been ruined, a lot of things have been ruined, families have been broken. A lot has gone wrong because the two parties actually refuse to apologize. And when it comes to apology, there is nothing absolutely wrong in there's no particular way or there's no order it should be done. There's no rule that says that parents and children should be the ones to apologize or the younger one should be the ones to apologize. No. Do you understand? So I feel like we should educate people on this. This is a part of humanity that people really need to recognize, especially in Africa. So this topic is not just for younger people or for kids. No, it's for everybody. Please, let's learn to apologize and move on. And so I want to give you a few points on how to apologize or how to go about it, so you can just make it very easy for yourself in case that's so difficult for you. One, recognize the hurt, the feelings of others. Recognize that the next person is hurt. Calm down. When something has gone wrong, try to ask yourself, where exactly did I go wrong? There is nothing wrong in you being vulnerable. Some persons are really scared. It's just ego. What is that? What is that exactly? Ego. Please, can you define ego? What is that? Do you use to cash out? Do you use it to cash out? So you have to recognize when people are hurt, like recognize the feelings of others. Somebody is telling you, you stepped on me. It's as simple as that. You don't need to ask the person, how did I step on you? What, when, where exactly? Just go ahead. Okay, you may need to ask these questions because everyone cannot be the same. You may need to ask those questions, but just very easy. The person gives you some reasons why maybe that would have happened. You just go ahead and apologize. So you must recognize the next person has been hurt by what you did. 2, accept responsibility for what you did. Learn how to say, yes, I was wrong. Some persons can never be wrong. It's not possible in heaven and never. They can never be wrong. Accept your responsibility. Take it as a responsibility because it actually makes you better. It makes you a better version of yourself. Parents, it actually makes you a better version of yourself. Because at the end of the day, you would be teaching the child how to go about life. Because whatever you teach, if you're trying to put up a very strong, like this, the child is going to pick that up from you. The child goes to school and begins to hear reports like, he did wrong, she did wrong, and she couldn't apologize, and she could not accept her wrong. Where did they learn it from? Their first point or their first contact for learning is the home. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you must accept responsibility. Then the next one is explain why it happened. These are ways to just find closure, so you know how to resolve it. Explain why it happened. Probably you were not in your best, or you were not at your best. Someone would have hurt you, or something would have gone wrong at some point, and you just felt like, okay, I just need to vent. I need to get it. It's okay. You're a human being, and things happen. You get, so nobody is upset, or nobody would query you for being upset about maybe something that would have gone wrong behind, that the next person does not know. So while you vent, while you get upset, try to explain to people why that would have happened the way it happened. That way, it helps us to know that, okay, you are actually willing to make amends. The next one will be, show it won't happen again. This one is quite difficult. So, show it won't happen again. How? How do you want to show it's not going to happen again? When people are still struggling to accept, you're telling us to show. I really hope it won't happen again. Do you understand? When you are, you have to make it a deliberate effort. Make it very intentional to amend your lifestyle. If people keep complaining about a certain character or a certain attribute of yours, I think you have to look inwards and ask yourself, why is this happening? Because if you refuse to accept your faults, or you refuse to look inward, it's going to happen 1, 2, 3 times, and things will keep going bad. And you keep hearing questions, or keep hearing things like, they don't understand me. How can, in the midst of 100 persons, nobody understands you? You are the problem. You are the problem. You are the problem. So look at yourself, look inwards. Sit yourself down and ask yourself a question. Why is this pattern repeating itself over and over again? Last year it happened, this year it happened, 2024 is going to happen again, just maybe. But 5 years it has happened. Ask yourself questions. There is nothing wrong in sitting yourself down to address it. Next one will be offer reparations. Find ways to see how you can make amends. You get, probably gift the person with something, or just make the person understand that, yes, I take responsibility and I'm giving you this. That happens with children a whole lot. It happens with them. They just want to know that, they are getting a reward for it. You are gifting them, or you're it's a way of calling them back. There's this significance that the rod of Moses has, that people would always explain, that the head of the rod is always to, okay, or, the way the rod is, the tail part of the rod is actually to whoop the child, and the curved part is actually to drag the child closer. So after spanking the child, call them back, call the younger one and tell them, okay, take this, now I know. where things went wrong. They should know. They should understand. Please accept you were wrong. Bosses, accept you were wrong. Wives, husbands, accept you were wrong. Parents, accept you are wrong. Teachers, accept you are wrong. Lecturers, accept you are wrong. Pastors, preachers, accept you are wrong. You are not God. Yes, we are all human beings. And yes, because we are human beings, we would always, forever be wrong. And that's why the Bible says that if your neighbor offends you, Jesus gave an illustration and said, forgive the person 70 times 7. The reason he said that is because he wants you to lose count. Because how is it that you're always counting? 1 time, 2, 3, 4. You lose count. That scripture is basically telling you, lose count. Just lose count. Go ahead and forgive. Let it go. Let it go so we can work together. Because when we work together, we disagree to agree at the end of the day. And you see that when we come back, we form a very formidable force. It's actually the trick of the devil that, he scatters. He doesn't like unity. He would always come to sow seed of discord. So when it happens, always recognize that this is a seed of discord that is going on, that is happening right here. And I know you're going to do better. I will do better, and yes, the world is going to become a better place. And this is not just for our bosses or our parents. No, people out there destitute, because many a time we feel like because we have because of the way life has placed us, we have an upper hand, some kind of so you step on the toes of maybe destitute on the road and you feel like you just walk past. You don't say sorry. You don't apologize. They don't have a voice or something. No, go ahead and apologize to them because they are human beings. Go ahead, and the world will be a better place. Thank you all so much for listening to this. I know this is long, but just go ahead, share, like, comment, and if you have a contribution, you can just go there. Or have an opinion on this topic, go there. And indeed, this is my opinion about this, or I don't agree with what you have said. Just go there and let's share our views together, let's learn together, and let's make this world a better place. I'll see you some other time. Bye bye.